Hi there, I'm Lisa Terich, Community Engagement here at the Oshawa Museum. Like many museums currently, we are closed to the public because of the current COVID-19 pandemic. However, we still wanted to showcase a little bit of this museum, a little bit of our site, show you some of the things that are happening behind the scenes, even if you can't physically visit our site. We're really excited to be able to showcase. Currently, our feature exhibit in Robinson House is called the Vintage Catwalk, and as the title implies, it's about fashion and textiles and really showcasing some of the cool clothing that we've got here in our collection at the Oshawa Museum. And today I'm going to show some of my favorite features and some of my favorite artifacts that have been highlighted here in this exhibit. The dress behind me might be one of the most interesting pieces in this exhibit. The dress is actually part of the collection of the Costume People, who is a local Oshawa business, and they're one of our exhibit partners for the Vintage Catwalk. So the beautiful green dresses behind me, they were dyed with copper arsenate, or arsenic. So that actually makes these dresses killers. They were not only quite toxic to the wearers because you're wearing these clothing, it's being absorbed in through your skin, and you start to experience the poisoning of the arsenic, but it was especially dangerous to the textile workers. There are some horrible accounts of what ended up happening to many young women who were working with this chemical, and unfortunately many of them did die. The dress itself is a beautiful color, but obviously the way that they got that color was not so great. Not only was it textiles and clothing, but also there was a number of wallpapers which were manufactured with this same dye. Between your wallpaper possibly being contaminated with arsenic, paint at the time often was lead-based. So that whole saying where if you're not feeling so great and you're encouraged to go out and get some fresh air, it totally makes sense, because if you've been cooped up in a house, you might be breathing in these arsenic fumes, these paint lead-based fumes. Of course you're gonna start feeling better once you get outside. You're no longer breathing in these toxins. But yes, the killer dress, probably one of the most interesting pieces of this exhibit. I also love one of the pieces both pieces in this case, but particularly the blue GM shop coat. So that was a piece which was worn by women who worked on the manufacturing line during the Second World War. During the Second World War, men were off to war, but those manufacturing lines still had to keep going, and women ended up forming a good chunk of the manufacturing workforce. And here in Oshawa, that meant GM, and many of the women were putting together the tanks and the trucks that were being driven and operated overseas as part of the war effort. So we've got that shop coat, shop dress, let me correct myself, because women were working and they were still expected to wear those dresses. So not only do we have an example of that in our collection, but we've also got a photo of women wearing those dresses while they were working on the line. Let me talk for a minute about this really beautiful piece right here as well. This dress dates to about 1914, and it was owned by a woman named Alexandra Luke. Again, if you are at all a local history buff, or if you are an art enthusiast, that name might be familiar to you, because Alexandra Luke was a prolific painter during the 20th century. She was also one of the founding members of an abstract painting group called Painters 11, and it was through the initiatives of her as well as her husband Ewart McLaughlin, who helped contribute and found the Robert McLaughlin Gallery, which is Durham Region's largest art gallery, still operating today here in Oshawa. This dress is absolutely beautiful, and upon closer look, there's some theory that our curator and Patty of the Costume People came to, that the dress, while owned and worn by Alexandra Luke, it might actually be slightly older. You know how pieces get passed down from generation to generation? They believe this dress at one point might have been owned and worn by Alexandra's mother, and then later was owned by Alexandra herself. In a very small nutshell, that is our Vintage Catwalk exhibit. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you'll be able to come down and visit the Oshawa Museum sometime in the future. But until then, we will continue to engage with everyone through social media. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Watch our videos on YouTube. We not only have got videos that we've created ourselves, but we also have got some historic videos up there as well. And you can find all of us at Oshawa Museum. Have a lovely afternoon. Thanks for watching.